The fourth season of the Basketball Africa League starts right here, right now, with a mouth-watering clash between BAL heavyweights Petro de Luanda and BAL debutants FAT Union Sport of Morocco. The starting five for Petro de Luanda, over to you, Usha.
It is the same starting five from last season. Shilde Dundao, Carlos Moraes coming in with a lot of experience, vet three-point shooter in season 3, John Pedro, Abubakar, Gaku, and Edmir Lucas, who is looking good there and looking to make a debut here at the BAL. Yeah, looking at the starting five, Abdel Hakim Zouita, a veteran of Moroccan basketball, Aliou Diarra, best defensive player for season 3 from Mali, Ayoub Nouhi from Belgium, and Kendrick Brown and Jonathan Jordan. Just, you know, a very dynamic side. You can see that they're going from, you know, balancing a very defensive side, but also having a touch on the offensive side of the floor.
Here we go then, it's time to get down to business. It is season 4 of the Basketball Africa League, and as you can see in white, Petro de Luanda trying to lead Angolan to a victory here. Gonçalves getting the ball back to Dundao. These are the players we know so well. Carlos Moraes trying to find his way around Jonathan Jordan. Step back, Moraes going in for a long-range shot. It's just been kept out, but they picked the ball up, and here is that man, Jordan, just on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, looking at the intensity of how FUS Rabat have begun this game, it just shows you their intentions for the tournament. this
is really good stuff, isn't it? Just the way that they've come into this. Oh, and the ball just coming out of their hands. And
yes, just Nouhi losing the ball there, but FUS Rabat will stay with the possession.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, you can see he's just having a little bit of a meander through there. Ayoub Nouhi, Brussels-born player, but showing us what he's capable of doing. Oh, giving the ball away. You can't do that to this man, and he's running off to try and produce something. Can't drop it in. Super dangerous, of course, that man Gonçalves.
Yeah, the idea was great from Lukeni to try and attack the basket there, but they lose possession, and FUS Rabat are back looking for that very first basket at the BAL.
Yeah, who's going to score it? Who's going to score it?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Jordan just getting the ball out as a chance for his little step back away from Abubakar. Gaku unable to find it as Kendrick Brown's shot just rattles. The metal comes back out. Dundao, lots of time and space. Gonçalves, MVP in the Angolan League back in 2022. Dundao trying to just drop it in. It comes just off the metal and picked up, tidied up there. Jordan, Texas, United States of America, along with Kendrick Brown from Missouri, 2 Americans in the starting 5 for the Moroccan outfit. And a lovely show and go, but the ball just pinched, stolen by Carlos Moraes.
Yeah, that's what he adds to this Angolan team on both sides of the court, offensive and defensive.
There's the goal, there's the chance, and there it is, driven right through. Johnny Pedro opens up season 4 with a wonderful drive through the paint. In it goes, 2 points in the bag. Petro kick off the proceedings.
Yeah, absolutely great combination there from Carlos and Pedro.
The veterans, I shouldn't say veterans, they're veterans for us because we see them every season, but he's just 33, Johnny Pedro. There's Brown. Oh, that's a little bit of contact there from Johnny Pedro as just goes on a bit of a wander to try and get that basket. You can see the, well, there's the layup there right through the middle.
Johnny Pedro, he was trying to use the best line to play defense against Aliou Diarra, but when he put his foot out, it was considered a foul. And Diarra will go to the free throw line and try to make the first points for FUS Rabat.
Yeah, what a wonderful player he is, of course. Just really extraordinary. Got a double-double back in qualification back in October, November, 18 and 21 in a victory against FAP, of course, FAP, and put them very much in a good position to qualify, of course, for where they are here right now. And a wonderful opportunity for them to perform. And first baskets there, dropped in from the free throw line from Diarra. Moraes and just giving the ball away. That's been picked up by the same man, Diarra, and a quick launch. Jordan getting the ball out. There's an opportunity. It's a big long three-pointer, beautifully sunk in there by Mr. Brown.
Yeah, Mr. Brown, that's what he brings to this team. Just shooting behind the line. You could see his teammates celebrating even before he released the ball.
Well, they move ahead for the very first time. 2-5, early doors, of course. Dundao going up for a long-range shot just off the other side of the medal, back in and tidied up at the back there by Zuita. Drive there for Jordan, a little floater, and look at that from Diarra. Pull it in, place it in, smile, walk away.
Very timely there from Aliou Diarra, and the very first dunk of this game, just showing his prowess on the offensive side.
Good chance. Gonzalez goes up. He just decides to get it out to Gaku. Gaku goes for a drive towards the paint, and it's just been, oh, he just couldn't drop it over the top there. The opportunity was there. It was a good one for Petro, unable to sink the two. Nice pass. Look at Diarra goes up, but he can't find his way in. It was nearly taken right up and dropped down. Not the case. Gaku goes up, and there is a little bit of contact from Abdelhakim Zuita, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, looking at the replay there, incredible from Jordan to penetrate the D and just set up Aliou Diarra in a fine fashion, and he finishes to just open up the floodgates of season 4.
Yeah, let's go across to Kira. You've been impressed by this Moroccan side's start to their first ever BAL?
I certainly have. They've got a championship pedigree, and Asha spoke about the fact that they've been out of the championship for 18 years. They've also picked up 18 championships, and on top of that, this is their debut in the Basketball Africa League. They look sharper than Petro in the first opening minutes, and that's because of the pressure they put on the defensive end, and they've just been much better executing offensively. But I'm sure that that's, like you said, it's early doors, Robbie, and we've still got a long way to go.
Yeah, thanks, Q. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. I would never do that. You know I'd never do that. Right, you know that.
I do know that.
But I did on that occasion, so sorry, Q. Listen, the fact is that sort of, you know, Diarra coming into this team has, like, you know, brings so much with him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he brings a lot of experience, Aliou Diarra, obviously, from leading Stade Malien to the semi-finals last year, and the Malian champions unable to come here. But that will be to the benefit of FUS Rabat.
The drive going through, but just stopped in his path, Pedro, and he'll go straight to the free throw line. Of course, there was an illegal bit of contact, as you can see, coming from Zuita. Otherwise, that would have been sunk.
It's going to be an interesting matchup between Zuita and John Pedro, both veterans on the African continent, both at club and national team level. But for Zuita, he'll have to check his foul column, because that's 2 fouls for him already in under 4 minutes of the first quarter. Yeah,
he's got a pair of those bad boys, isn't he? And you want to keep them down. You don't want to, you know, get anywhere near 3 if you can, at least going into the third quarter. So he'll have to be a little bit careful. And of course, he's coming up against some big, colossal chaps here as well.
Absolutely, the big, colossal chaps being John Pedro. And he also has a lot of movement in that paint alongside Gaku. You get the feeling that they have a good brotherly, you know, combination and good chemistry that they use in terms of communication. But that transition play there is going to be a bit worrisome for FUS Rabat. They have to take care of the ball better so that they avoid giving easy baskets to Petro de Luanda.
Yeah, just looking at José Neto, of course, you know, he's probably one of the best, you know, tacticians that we've actually seen in the BAL. He also managed to, you know, to be the BAL Coach of the Year a couple of seasons ago, and that was just extraordinary. What a wonderful man he is, but a very shrewd tactician, you know, and he'll just try and work his magic. He's going again as Diarra tries to spin off his man, Pedro. It goes up and it goes in. And the points count just in the nick of time.
Absolutely incredible play there from Aliou Diarra, just showing his magic and what he's able to bring to this FUS Rabat team. Is that oomph that they needed.
That's a mid-range too there for Moraes. So subtly done. Calm down, says Neto, you know, but calm down. Keep it cool more so, I think, you know. Don't calm down. You don't want to calm down on a basketball court.
His fast points, Carlos Moraes.
Jordan going up for a big long-range three from downtown. It just doesn't fall. And, of course, that man with so much acceleration. Dunda gets the ball to Gaku for three.
Absolutely great finish there from Gaku. He's always been great behind the arc. You know, MVP, 2 seasons in Angola. Just to be able to bring that here at the BAL.
Very, very entertaining start to this opening encounter. We've got a change with João Pedro is just being replaced. Yannick Moreira will come on. Experience in the G League, of course, but an important player to come on. And oh, but we've got a timeout, so we're going to take a small break, and we will be back. Promise you.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the Sunbet Arena here in Pretoria. It's nice to say that because it is a change, because we normally go to Dakar and we go to Cairo and then, of course, Kigali. Now we're in South Africa. Petro de Luanda edge and lead FUS de Rabat of Morocco 10-9. Interesting times here, an interesting start to this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Kalahari Conference, named after the Kalahari Desert, which is shared among Southern African countries, including South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. And points there already in for that man, just dropping into Salo, Badreddine Azuga, Moroccan international. Moraes, look at that little spin. Oh, he's just, they've just lost possession, but they still will get the ball back.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at, you know, there's a bit of fidgeting there from Carlos Moraes, but they got possession and they can correct that.
Q, over to you.
Well, yeah, just out of that timeout, a lot of emphasis on paint penetration from Coach Jose Neto. He wants the dribble inside and the shot on the outside as the shot comes off, and emphasis on the pick and roll as well. So we'll see a lot more different usage of the pick and roll, especially with Abubakar Gaku.
Yeah, I was going to say Gaku, of course, and now they've actually you know, brought down Yannick Moreira, who's also a big guy. Long-range shot doesn't sink. Oh, he's gone around the outside. Dundao, look what he does. Oh, that's teasing everybody. Goes outside from the inside, and it goes in! Stunning, Gonçalves!
Perfect timing there for Dundao to draw in the defense and just literally kick that ball out to Lukeni, and he makes no mistake, drops it from the corner.
Nadja brings on experience for this VAT Union Sports team. And layup, that's stunning. That's a beautiful drive through there and dropped in perfectly. Dealt with, of course, as we see Rabat just moving ahead once again. And Nuhi.
It is end-to-end action, and the game is tied. It just goes to show you how serious every team is here in the Kalahari Conference.
Listen, what you said, Q, earlier about going outside just when they're sucking in the defenders and making it complicated. A little bit of space on the outside, and then all is, you know, becomes clear as they try and find their way over the top. Little tip in, beautifully done. Well, he's just showing what he's capable of doing, Nadja. Turning back the years, 39.
Yeah, Nadja, one of the veterans in this Kalahari Conference.
Brilliant drive and score there from Moraes.
Carlos Moraes using his experience to lead this Petro de Luanda side, especially from the offensive side.
Louis just getting the ball back out. Lots of time and space. It doesn't fall, I'm afraid, for Badreddine Azuga. It just goes out of play. Petro Luanda will get possession. Little bit of frustration there.
They're trying to, you know, move that ball around. You see that everyone gets to touch it or gets to have an opportunity to attempt to score, so that they're not that obvious, FUS Rabat. But you get the feeling that, you know, for Brown, they need to give him that ball. He looks like he has a hot hand, but obviously they have to read the territory and see what to do.
Cummins coming on, and now a chance to get the ball. There he is, Cummins, look at that for a block. Get out of there, you're not coming through. Azuga is the man making the stop, no entry sign.
Yeah, Cummins is being welcomed to the BAL in a bit of a rude way, but...
Oh, stunning, Sofiane Ben Mahid.
Sofiane, one of the faces of Moroccan basketball, just getting on the score sheet and showing Petro de Luanda that it's going to be a long day here. It's going to be a long day.
Under a little bit of pressure to try and pass the ball around, picked up by Nelson. He's the player, of course, from New York, and one of the new players coming into this squad. And they're just going to have to give the ball back away. Look at the block, stunning. That was a right-hand block. That was absolutely incredible, wasn't it?
I was just saying, there's no way here. You cannot pass. And just looking at the floor, a bit of rotations there from Jose Neto, just giving the Petro de Luanda players enough time to rest and the new players to feel the ball and feel the competition.
Ahly just keeping the ball in the attacking half so he doesn't take it back over, tries to float one over the chop, doesn't happen. Another second opportunity. Not just the man, he's doing pretty well since he came on and showing some of the youngsters what he's what they should be doing as well.
Yeah, just reminding everyone that his name is Naja, you know. Dropped 4 points so far for FUS Rabat. Coming off the bench, that's an incredible performance for him. And looking at player stats, last season averaging 16 points, Carlos Moraes so far scored 4 points in this first quarter. He's improved his field goal percentage at 67 so far.
That's nicely done, just trying to float it over the top there, Nelson. And they win the ball back, but it's being tossed back into no man's land where Bamahine picks the ball up. Bayri for 3. Bayri for 3! It's a beautiful shot from down the left-hand side there. And with 30 seconds left to play, you can see that they have taken an 8-point lead. The Moroccan side, who are playing their first ever BAL, very much in a happy place.
Yes, absolutely. When you look at that three-pointer, Cummings tried to, you know, put up some defense there, but it was too late, and the easy 3 that gives them an 8-point lead, and very, very well celebrated on the bench there by FUS Rabat.
Yeah, super impressive there. 15 at 23, 36 seconds remaining. And, well, I mean, everybody who's watching here so far, they're getting a wonderful taste of what the BAL is all about. It's Jose Neto who called the timeout, of course, and we'll see how they react to this. But Asha, this is already turning into quite a spectacle because those minutes have passed so quickly in the first quarter, and it's gonna just, you know, we're gonna fly, aren't we, as we take a look at Alou Diarra's stats here.
Yeah, Alou Diarra, the best defensive player from last season, joining these guys and looking at, you know, his contribution on the defensive and offensive side. He brings that, you know, quality in here, and you can see that they're giving him the ball. He's enjoying and fitting in very well, and he brings that to this team. And he's going to be a big problem there for John Pedro in the paint.
Yeah, he's quite an extraordinary player because the way that he moves his body, the way he twists and turns, makes defenders very complicated for them to try and just, you know, keep them close. And he's always capable of finding space, and he flies so elegantly, you know, through the air that at any given chance he will find, you know, the points, and that's what he does. But it's also his defensive game, you know, which is absolutely extraordinary. He'll make the blocks, he'll find the right position, he times his jumps to perfection. Very good, complete all-round player.
And he's really fitting in well in this FUS Rabat team. You get the feeling that, you know, he makes them look good on both sides. He's an option that they can trust, and his percentages are always great if you think about it in the great scheme of things.
Anthony Nelson into Manhattan College from New York, and they need to get points in the last 20-odd seconds here. It just goes over the shot. That's beautifully dropped in from Yannick Moreira.
Yannick Moreira being able to continue from where Johnny Pedro started in the starting 5 earlier. They need points from him. They need him to guard Naja in that paint, and that will be very key. And there he is with the steal.
Well, that's the end of the quarter. Not enough time to go not enough time to actually get themselves the points. So we still have 17-23. They got the 2 back, of course, but still 6 points. Very interesting battle so far here. We'll take a break and we will be back.
It's now time.
Welcome back to the Sunbed Arena here in Pretoria. It's Petro de Luanda 17, FUS Rabat 23. Super impressed with this Moroccan side's first dance here on the BAL. They are battling hard. They're playing well defensively, like we saw with a couple of blocks that they provided us with in the first quarter. And they're throwing absolutely everything at this Petro Luanda team, Asha.
It is expected of a Moroccan side. You know, their basketball has been on the quiet side, I should say, for the last 4 years. But now FUS Rabat really taking on Angola and saying, you know, we're back here, we're Moroccans, and we want to showcase what we can do. And of course, you know, winning their first league championship for the first time in 18 years means that, you know, they want to prove that it's not just at home that they can dominate. And what better way than to shake a giant on the continent, that giant being Petro de Luanda.
No, absolutely. And, you know, when you talk about Diarra and his impact by coming into this team, 18 points, 21 rebounds in the victory over FAP of Cameroon. And, you know, they might have lost the against Bangui 92-90, but they still qualified, of course. But the fact is that they look complete, and they haven't changed that much, you know, and that's why they're in a very good place. There haven't been new players arriving, you know, quite later on for the start of this new season. They've actually kept the same group of players, and we know what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that Said El Bouzidi, who has formerly coached AS Saleh, brings that experience here and knows the importance of preparing very early on, because when you come up against teams like Petro de Luanda that consistently have the same squads that play in the league, playing in the BAL, you have to be ready. And we can see that already in the way that they've started this first quarter.
And the points coming off the bench have been pretty impressive. I think we're just getting the clock sorted before we can start to chew into the second quarter. And Ben Maheen is the player with the ball in his hands, and a chance for them to try and find a little bit of space. El Hawa coming on and adding an extra little bit of zip to this Moroccan team's performance. It all opened up, and that was a wonderful chance, but couldn't have it drop down.
Just looking at that, I mean, the decision to really attack that basket from Azuga, incredible. He tried to sneak the ball in there, but it wasn't high enough. And then there was a foul there from Yannick Moreira. He's contesting it, but...
yeah, we saw it. It was very clear. It was like a little bit of a swipe. You can't really do anything about it. The ball had left his fingers and everything, and, you know, it was still up in the air. The contact was afterwards, but it still counts as a foul.
And Azuga will go to the free throw line. And by the way, Robbie, have you ever noticed that Yannick Moreira looks like Kevin Durant?
Yeah, there's an element of that. It's true, isn't it? He's got that look, you know, and especially with the goatee, you know, it all falls into place. Now he's got to play like him and sort of, you know.
Yes, and help this Petro de Luanda team as, you know, Zuga misses his fast free throw. They really have to, you know, look into the percentages there on the free throw line. There were 2 for 2 earlier, but now it's 2 for 4.
2 for 4. Points coming off the bench for FUS was 12 points for them, just to give you an idea of how things are working. Moreira unable to get himself clear, and it's been snatched and taken away as the Moroccan side really do. They're showing a lot of zip about their game and defensively making it very complicated.
It is a great call there. Azuga just really looking good, both on offense and defense, forcing Lukeni to lose possession as FUS Rabat get the ball back. And you can see that they really switched on this FUS Rabat team.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what the defense is and what's happening out here today?
Well, they did a great job of holding Petro de Luanda to just 37%, and they forced already 5 turnovers. It's been all defense that has kept FUS Rabat in the lead, and if they continue this intensity, it's going to be tough for Petro going in further in this game.
Yeah, tell Petro about it. Here's Jordan, who tries to go up. Well, it's a lovely little... like a deceiving pass into the hands of Nadja, but the ball flies out of his hands. Looks to say, well, there was contact, but...
yeah, that was good eyes there from Jordan to try and look out for Nadja in that paint. The idea was good, but obviously frustration there for Jose Neto as his side is yet to score in this second quarter. 1 minute gone.
Petro just getting the ball back in their hands. They'll go again, of course. 17-24. Waiting patiently just to understand exactly what's happening there, but nothing out of order. Picked up Gonsalves. And a chance for a three-pointer. It's right over the top there and made safe there by Nadja, the big man at the back. Flung out into the corner. A bit of get rid of your man, drop it in. Jordan with a beautiful two.
Yeah, it is 4 points for Jordan. He's, been doing everything, driving into that paint, forcing Petro to make bad decisions. Jordan at the other end, and well, that is going to be a foul, I think. And it's a defensive foul because of the way that Markeith Cummings just connected with Jordan, didn't allow him to rise up. Well, just looking at that replay there, Jordan forcing his way, into that paint. He knows he's quite faster than Cummings, but the replay on the other side, like when he dropped that jumper earlier, is showing you how important he's going to be for FUS Rabat, Jordan. So there's no foul. It was just a tie. They basically they connected with the ball, so the ball's going to be given back to the Rabat, of course, and they will they'll just play again. Yes, FUS Rabat with the possession to really correct a bit of the offensive lack that they had in that last possession and look to increase their lead. It's a 9-point game so far. Impressive for the Moroccan champions. Absolutely, looking very strong is Jordan. Little bit of a block from Nadja, tries to go up from underneath the ring, but it just doesn't find its way over the top. Picked up by Gonsalves and knocked out of his hands quite comfortably there by Azuga. It will be Petro who have possession over on that left side. Yeah, it's, looking at Azuga, he's playing good defense at the top, in the paint. He's really switched on, Azuga. I'm sure, he was waiting for this moment to play in the BAL, and so far he's doing a great job. Nelson just tries to turn and tussle. Gets rid of El-Hawa, and there's the long-range shot. Oh, it's a beautiful drop-in for 3 points from that man, Cummings. Yeah, he had a tough start to the game, Cummings, and finally he's gotten into the scoring chats. Yeah, he's got to find his place in this team, of course, which is never that easy. From Alabama, 35 years of age, the American. And that's exactly why they brought him on board, to bring that experience. Jordan with a long-range shot doesn't fall. Around the outside, and an opportunity for 2 points just inside of the arc. Sent in, but not dropped in. Yeah, the decision-making there from Lucas was a bit suspect. Yeah, well, that's a beautiful layup. Look at that. He's doing really well, isn't he, Nadja? Putting himself in a good position. And just a little drive through. Nelson waiting for cavalry to arrive. 20-28 so far. Yeah, you can see that FUS Rabat are playing a good zono man, which is frustrating Petro de Luanda, and that's why they're looking to pass that ball on the outside and looking for the three-pointers. Yeah, he's just picked up a foul there, Abdel Karim El-Hawa, and a Moroccan international. That's going to be a bit of a difficult situation for El-Hawa, but that's his role also on the team, to sort of try and limit Petro de Luanda's ball rotation. Gonsalves tries to find support, goes out wide to the left, doesn't fall for that man. Cummings once again can't produce back-to-back shots and scores. Jordan cuts inside. Nadja picks it up, waits patiently, but there's a traveling call. You just saw that he just lifted himself a little bit, then afterwards, well, we know what happens is give the ball back to Petro de Luanda. It is actually something that happens most times with Nadja, watching him over the years, both at club and country level in Morocco. He always gets his pivoting it's always a bit of a problem for him, but I guess he'll have to fix it. Yeah, yeah, that would help. Chance here, Moreira. Oh, that's sumptuously done. Just using his height to just drop it and allow it to fall elegantly.
Jordan. Oh, he's just losing possession there as Azuga, and an easy chance to make sure that that goes nowhere else but in the basket. Cummings producing more points, and he's up to 5.
Yeah, that's good combination there from Cummings and Lukeni. Lukeni, you know, he's had a good eyes on the ball so far in the game.
Petro Luanda 24, Booster Rabat 28, but just look at this beautiful pass and a great drive. The score is there to complete this little break, and we'll be back for some more here in Pretoria. Petro Luanda 24, FS Rabat 28 here in the second quarter. We now are very thrilled to have with us NBA Deputy Commissioner, Chief Operating Officer Mark Tatum, who's been asked a couple of questions by Q. Over to you, Q.
Thank you very much. And Mark, the first thing is, what is the significance of having this BAL tip-off in the tip-off in the same venue that the NBA Africa game happened here at the Kalahari Conference?
It's incredible. That was 6 years ago. That was our third NBA Africa game right here in this building. This is my first time back. And at that time, during those Africa games, we actually announced that we would be launching a Pan-African basketball league. And who knew that 6 years later we would be here in this very same arena, playing here in the 4th season of the Basketball Africa League. So it's been incredible.
What impact are you hoping to have in season 4 when you look at the way that the game has been received, especially here in this opening game?
Yeah, no, I think I just look around at this audience, at this crowd, and they love it. This is the very first time that we're playing games here in South Africa. This is the very first time we're going to have 4 countries and 4 iconic African cities host BAL games. There are 5 new teams from 3 different countries. So we're expanding the BAL footprint, and we're expanding the number of places where fans can actually watch BAL basketball. And I think the other thing that fans have something to look forward to is the amount of talent on the court. The games have never been so competitive, and you're going to see some NBA prospects who will be playing in the NBA in the not-too-distant future.
And let's talk about that a little bit. The BAL Elevate program has been quite successful. What are your thoughts on the players that we're going to be showcasing this year? I
got to tell you, the BAL Elevate is more successful than we ever thought. Taking an academy player, 12 academy players, placing them on a BAL team, and you're going to have guys like Kamam, and you're going to have guys like Ulrich, and these guys are going to be playing in the NBA. Kamam's obviously going to play at Duke University next year. He'll have an incredible experience there, so you're seeing future NBA talent develop here in the BAL.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's an absolute pleasure to have you speaking with us. Q, wonderful questions as usual. And we go back to the Petro Luanda, who are trailing by 6, but they got themselves onto the free throw line. It just tells us that the sky is the limit, Usher, regarding basketball here in Africa and the BAL and what's happening here, because the 4th season and going to another country, but also with the youngsters, the future is so bright.
Yeah, the future is very bright, and really to see some of these players, you know, being part of this setup here in the BAL. These are teenagers, you know, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and Mark Tatum talked about Kaman Malwash. We've seen him play already in 2 BAL seasons, committing to Duke University, and projected top 5 NBA draft for 2025. That's impressive.
Yeah, and you know, just to see the BAL Elevate players, of course, you know, playing, you know, in the different Road to the BAL competitions, and this is just absolutely extraordinary. The youngsters getting lots of basketball time, and Hameen going up and trying to drop it over the top, doesn't happen. Moraes gets the ball out. There's a chance for them to try and, well, it's a foul there. You'll go to the, well, it's a foul, of course, with the drive through. And Lucas once again giving himself a good chance, just trying to get himself into the paint, bumped off, and they just kept possession.
And we can see that from that timeout that Petro de Luanda have, you know, put up their intensity. They know they have to be more aggressive, because that's the game that FUS Rabat have brought to them in this today here at the Kalahari Conference. So they have to react to that, and they have legs on the bench, and they shouldn't be worried about, you know, getting tired. They have so many options, and that's what the coach is emphasizing.
Petro trail by 4 points. Here's Nelson in possession. Johnny Petro gives him a little bit of a decoy run there as he tries to hit it high for a pair of points, doesn't fall. Picked up, taken forward here by Kendrick Brown, goes out wide, the charge by Jordan. And you can see that Carlos Moraes just getting in the way, play it down. Hopefully he's going to be okay, Jordan. Sorry, it's not, it's Gaku who went down, in fact. Just holding his nose, let's hope that he's okay.
Yeah, just that not showing you how intense it is as Jordan and Gaku's hands get
tangled up,
there and intertwined. But it's all brotherly love.
It is.
No commotion.
We're all good, we're all good.
Yeah.
Brown has possession over on that far side. 4 minutes to go before the end of the second quarter. And very much an interesting battle taking place here. There's the way that they've been dealing with themselves defensively. Jordan takes the pass from behind the back from Brown. That's nicely done. It goes up. Does it go in? Well, it's been swatted away in a big way. And the danger is gone. But Dundao picks it up. Moraes waits for support. Has a little bit of a block there. Goes up for a long-range shot. Doesn't sink. And again, they find themselves not getting the points with their phases of attack, Usher.
Yeah, they're struggling there.
Oh, that's a delightful charge, excuse me. And it's end-to-end action here, isn't it?
Yes, it is end-to-end action as Lucas attempts yet another three, this time on the right side, doesn't drop. And you get the feeling that Petro needs to be patient with that ball.
That's a beautiful 2 points there for Jordan. He just saw that he had a little bit of space. It was a direct, vertical going up, pop it in, 2 points in the bag, and they get a 6-point lead. We've got a timeout.
Yeah, it is a timeout as Jose Neto tries to find solutions there for his players. They're playing from the back foot, and they need to be in front of this game. That's at least the approach that they planned since the game started. But FUS Rabat are asking the right questions and, making sure that they're not comfortable.
There was one question that I had, what kind of a bench have they got, US Rabat? Have they got players who can come in? I think that was proven in the first quarter where you saw that there was 12 points that came off the bench compared to 2 for Petro and Luanda. It puts you in a position where you're actually thinking, well, this is actually a team that are more complete than maybe we thought. And I think it comes from the stability that they've had without making too many extra players, bringing them into the squad, but keeping the core team working really well.
They have the core team, and when you look at most of the players on the FUS Rabat team, these are players that have consistently represented Morocco at the national team, at the Afrobasket, at during Afrobasket qualifiers, during World Cup qualifiers. Najer here, 39 years, he's had service for his country, and that is very important. And you see the way he's talking to Zwita, who's also really been very key for Moroccan basketball. And obviously just, fusing that with the new additions on the team. And you can see that they have become the first team in this season 4 to bring on a BAL Elevate player, bringing on the Senegalese, Mohamed Silla.
That's right, Mohamed Silla in the house. Talking of someone in the house, Q is in the house, just listening over on the FUS bench. Did you pick up anything?
I picked up that it's continual defensive focus. They're talking about the adjustments that they need to make, and that's just creating separation and perhaps getting better contests on shots. And you see an example there, but talking about contests on the three-point shot.
Silla goes down, and there was definitely contact. The hand goes up, of course, from Johnny Petro. He knows that he had made contact with Silla, the 19-year-old, of course. He was storming through there. That was massive. Just look at him.
Yeah, looking at it really just shows you the intensity of this game. And Johnny Petro real quick, saying that he's sorry and acknowledges that foul. But it's a bit of a problem there for the bigs. For Petro de Luanda, it's 2 fouls for Yannick Moreira already, and on the other side you still have Pedro as well with his second, and that means that FUS Rabat can continue to attack that paint, and they could foul them out.
Mohamed Silla with a chance to score points. Of course, this is these are special moments, aren't they?
It is a special moment, you know, to see a teenager, you know, coming to express himself and have an opportunity really to play with the big boys on the African continent. They get so much of that exposure being part of the NBA Africa Academy. They've toured other continents in South America. They've played in the US, they played in Europe. But yes, we get to see that that has been considered as an unsportsman foul.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, we've got Mohamed Silla, of course, gets another chance from Louga in Senegal. 2 meters and 9. He's a big guy, isn't he? And he matches it with the height as well. So they get possession back as well. Q, we're going to go over to you because you're itching to say something.
Well, I wanted to add, there's a lot of excitement around Silla. He's a very, there's excitement around the prospect that he can bring to the basketball court. One of the most exciting young prospects at the academy right now. And if he continues his trajectory, someone we need to keep a lookout for. But you can say that about every one of the Elevate players.
It's true. It's been picked up. Look at that. There's a chance. Oh, it's good in. Look at that. Beautifully done. And who scores it, of course? That man, Silla.
And you talked about him being 2 meters, but also his wingspan is really very key on his offensive game, and you see that with how easy it was for him to put that basket in.
Look at the experience from Moraes, but he just can't get the angle right. Jordan picks it up, and it's fast and furious here in Pretoria. There's a chance. Look at that, Brenda. Diarra's the man. Oh, my word. He is on fire tonight.
It is his second dunk of the night, Aliou Diarra. He brings that excitement. That's what the fans want to see. But also sort of reminding everyone that this is who I am.
And into double figures he goes. Look at that, there's traffic there. It's not just any kind of traffic. We're talking about Gaku.
Yeah, talking about Baku. There's also been some bit of, you know, friendly friction there in the paint. But Aliou Diarra, he's very, you know, particular. He knows that he has the size and the height to get what he wants in that paint. And with that dunk, just really, you know, separating himself from everyone else. 10 points so far in the game.
I don't think that even Q could actually block him going through like that.
Absolutely no chance.
I think we should, you know, try it out after the game.
Come on, let's do it. Let's get Q. Q, go and get your shorts and your sneaks.
10 Aliou Diarra points, and or make that 11, an 11-point gap that we see on the scoreboard.
It's
He's
incredible,
definitely the difference.
Dundao, this is the Petro reaction from Jean Pedro, making sure that the big tall tree of the man himself can actually make sure that it drops.
He was very smart there to be patient with the ball, fake Aliou Diarra, and make sure he gets those 2 points. They needed them. They were timely.
Well, this is a good defensive battle taking place. It's been taken back in, or is it not? That's surely going to be Petro pick up possession unless there's a foul. I think there is a foul. A little bit too present there, Bouyamba.
Yeah, Bouyamba trying to help Dundao there on the defensive side by dropping, but it's been considered as a foul.
It's Bouyamba's first personal foul.
It's frustration there for Jose Neto, as you know.
Go ahead, Asha. Tell everybody about it. You're
yes,
the right person to talk about this.
Every information that you need on the tournament and the Kalahari conference, please go check out the BAL, at the BAL on Instagram, on Twitter, but also obviously on Facebook. Follow us, get all the information you need, ticketing, you know, knowledge and information about the players. Everything is there.
Jordan drops it in, and they get that 10-point lead back. But the content that's actually going out, you know, on the socials, you just got to check it all out. The team put together something quite extraordinary as we see another foul committed, and it's Jordan who is responsible. The hands go up, but just getting in the way and you know, stopping him from slinking around the outside. And of course, Carlos Moraes, he knows exactly what he's doing. He was straight to the free throw line.
Yes, Carlos Moraes, the face of Angolan sports, not just basketball, face of Angolan sport. He's a legend in Angola, in African basketball. And he's yearning, like you said at the beginning of the game, to help Petro de Luanda win their first ever Basketball Africa League title. But all of that work starts here in the Kalahari Conference.
Anybody who's got 4 gold medals, you know, for his country at AfroBasket obviously knows a little bit about the sport. Extraordinary. What a legend he is, and still going strong, 38. And adds the second point there, 29-38. 1:34 left on the clock before the end of the second quarter. Timeout has been called. And to be honest with you, when you actually look, well, let's just have a look at this anyway. That was the dunk there from Diarra. Honestly, that was just, he wasn't even showboating. It's just perfect. Jordan happy with the pass, and Diarra, well, just happy with a little bit of verbal extras thrown into the mix afterwards.
Jordan has mastered the art of, timing to get Aliou Diarra at the right time, at the right moment, just for him to get his second dunk in this game so far. And we can promise that there will be more dunks from that man. Best defensive player of Season 3 with Stade Malien, the Malian champions last season, and bringing all of that here, being consistent. So it was not just a one-season wonder, Robbie.
No, of course not. No, of course not. And they finished third, Stade Malien. Honestly, the Crocodiles of Bamako, snapping away and battling hard to finish with the third place on the podium, was just... We didn't see it as a surprise. We saw the team working super hard to get themselves and battling through. Quite extraordinary. Petro Luanda 29, US Rabat 39. And, well, it's all about Diarra at the moment for Rabat. Milwaukee Bucks fan there, and a queue over on the other side listening in to Jose Neto.
I definitely was, and there is a big emphasis on defense, defensive pressure, and they are trying to speed up the possession here of FUS Rabat to see if they can't just bring that deficit a little bit closer before the half.
Yeah, this is such a big start this is for FUS, and Jordan picking the ball up. He's put in a good shift so far, cornered out wide, needs to try and get himself the ball back to his teammate Brown's there, flips it back. There's a bit of contact there on Dundao, but it will be Petro who pick up possession.
It is great defensive work there from Petro de Luanda. You get the feeling that what Jose Neto wants the players to do, they're doing. They have an opportunity to trap whoever has the ball so that they struggle to pass it to the next available player. And it's working for them so far on the last two possessions, Petro de Luanda.
Into the last minutes of the second quarter, Dundao. Moreira's trying to block Jordan. Moreira picks it up, flings it out wide, and there's a chance there for Gakko, and it doesn't sink, comes back out. The charge going forward from Nuhi. Nuhi goes up himself, rolls around, teases the crowd, and then goes down. Beautiful.
Yeah, Nuhi making that look very easy, just going through the paint, through the Petro de Luanda defense, and making those 2 points very crucial to extend their lead.
Boyamba just trying to carve his way, a little spin, and the attempt to try and flick. Gaku does it. Gaku, beautiful collection over on that far side, makes sure that it's dumped inside. Gaku doing the business there, and he moves up to 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points. It is a 10-point game as FUS Rabat look to finish this half off in a comfortable lead.
Long range shot going up, it just comes off the metal. Diarra trying to pick it up, but that's the end of the half, end of the second quarter. And, well, the Moroccans are in town. Diarra is leading the way with 11 points as this Fat Union Sport team really do unveil their intentions in the after the first two quarters of this opening battle of the Kalahari Conference here in the Sunbed Arena in Pretoria. There he is, Jordan, just setting it up for Diarra as we take a break and come back with the third quarter and find out where this story is going to take us. Welcome back to the Sunbed Arena here in Pretoria, South Africa, the Kalahari Conference. And look at what this man's doing. He's been absolutely on fire. Aliou Diarra, the menace of Mali, has been dominating and showing us what he's capable of doing. Usher, outstanding both ends of the court.
Yeah, when you talk about Aliou Diarra, a man who is literally coming from a desert, the Sahara Desert, because Mali's in the Sahara Desert, and performing in Kalahari Conference, which is named after the Kalahari Desert. I think this is the trick.
You're absolutely right.
But just looking at the stats, really, he's a man, Aliou Diarra, chasing double-double. He had 6 rebounds so far, very effective on the defensive side. And on the other side, you have Abubakar Gaku, league MVP for the last 2 seasons in Angola. He's been, you know, he had a quiet start to this game, but he's in there putting in a lot of work on the offensive side. 7 points so far, 67% from the field, but he's yet to really feel himself in this game.
I want to see Diarra get some 3 points as well. That'd be interesting, just to mix it up and sort of, you know, cause a few more issues, but have Petro come back. At the moment, it's been absolutely sensational. We've been thrilled to see it. And just for your information, if you want to know what Kalahari means in Shwana, the word is Gala, and that means the great thirst, which obviously makes sense because it's a Kalahari desert, and it's a waterless place normally.
Waterless
semi-arid. Let's not go too far. It's not completely arid.
Okay. I think we need to visit the Kalahari Desert just to get more context.
Well, we better get a car with a big engine because it covers Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa.
And South Africa.
There we go. But I'm up for it. We'll take the whole crew. How's that?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Second half, third quarter, time for a battle to continue. Here we go then with Petro and Luanda trailing by 10, and going into the third quarter, already some contact, and it looks like that Gonçalves has gone down.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact there with Nuhi.
But he's got a bit of blood to the eye, you can see that, and was it a flailing arm or something? He'll have to go off for a little bit of treatment, of course, and because of the blood, so...
Yes, and...
But then there's a little bit of friction.
Referees led by Gorda are going to have a look at the replay there to see what exactly happened.
Oh, just saw that. It's Silla's elbow that hits him in the eye. It's not intentional. He's trying to get past him, but that's a nasty cut. There's...
Yeah, let's look at that again.
Because Silla was cutting inside, but his arm was up in the air, and there was contact with the elbow. It's a nasty little nick, but there's nothing intentional. I'll have a look at the video, but you can see it on the left-hand side, and we'll see the replay once again. There you can see the reaction. So look at that. It's the left arm, the elbow contact. Look at him moving. He's trying to get himself around.
Yes.
Robbie, it's very tricky.
So Q,
very tricky because you have to determine intent, and so that's going to be. You see the discussion happening on the bench in terms of that happening. So the officials have got to determine.
But ideally, when you're setting a screen, the hands are not up like that. So ideally he should, you know, have his, you know, arms folded, and that's exactly what, you know, will have to be discussed. You know, whether to decide if it's a unsportsmanlike foul or we'll wait for the referees to decide.
Yeah, you can see that the left arm goes up and he tries to go around, so he's actually on the move. Okay, so you're not holding yourself. It will be deemed as something that's sort of, you know, maybe unsportsmanlike, which is not good for the youngster. At the same time, he's trying to move himself out of the way as we see the treatment just on that left eye. Yeah. Look on the left-hand side of your screens. Just watch him. Goes around.
Yes, I mean, he didn't do it. It doesn't look like he did it intentionally, but...
And this is the official review, and this is the communication that they're taking, because they have to take into all of the mitigation involved.
Yes, they have to make a decision as we wait for them to communicate that. And we'll hear from Q, who's listening in.
After video review.
All right, Robbie, it is unsportsmanlike, and his potential act of violence, he will remain on the floor, but it will be an unsportsmanlike foul.
Yeah, okay. You know, when He's 19 years of age. He's learning, you know, the game at the, you know, he's from the BAL Elevate, and no one likes to see this kind of thing. But, you know, you are picking things up. I think that that's the right call.
Yeah,
that's why I said it's very tricky, is because you have to determine intent. And I think when you look at the video evidence, it doesn't appear as if it's trying to do that intently, but
right.
you can't be that clumsy.
Exactly.
You have to be very clear on your movement. And so you can see that the two players, Tiara and Gaku, are actually having a discussion about the way they went about that. And he's going to have to be very careful, especially for the remainder of this game and perhaps the remainder of the conference.
And that usually, you know, has to be very, you know, emphasized for a giant like Silla. You know, the guy's wingspan is literally
albatross-like. I mean, you know, I'd go down the pterodactyl-like sort of, you know, department as well.
Yes, I mean, he's a big boy. He definitely learned from this, Mohamed Silla. But just reminding you that follow the tournament on social media, hashtag BAL4, and join the conversation. Tag the BAL on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter.
And the BAL website, you can get on it and sort of, you know, find out all of the different, you know, videos and the stats and the stories and everything. So there's so much that you can actually look at to pick up on and understand exactly more if you want to learn more and you want to find out who Usher Kumagisha is as well. You know, I mean, you know, just go and check it out, because that's what we're talking about, isn't it, Asha?
Absolutely. All the information is there.
There you go, Q as well. Q as well.
Teams and everything.
Q will tell you about his sneaks. Here we go, Jordan. Down into the corner, lots of time, and on the money! It's a beautiful score there, coming in, dropped in sumptuously by Ayub Nuhi.
Nuhi just dropping great points there for FUS Rabat and increasing his count to 8 points.
Stretching their advantage to 12 points. Here he is, the dangerous Childe Dundao. Dundao, he's very fast, he goes high, and he goes in as well. That is a beautiful, beautiful score from the smallest player on the court who just knows how to score in every different way.
Yes, Dundao, he was told from a very early on age that he cannot play the game of basketball, but he has disproved everyone and says that size does not matter.
That's a Jordan mid-range too as well, which just to retaliate in fine fashion. Dundao, Moreira, Carlos Moraes, back to Dundao, Dundao. Gaku rolls out. Oh, Moreira has it slapped out of there by Mr. Silla.
And that's exactly why Silla was left on the floor despite that unsportsmanlike foul.
It's in, it's a dunk, and it's beautifully done. Drive it in, smash it down. Yannick Moreira is the man.
Yannick Moreira introducing himself in this game with that dunk. He's always one to, you know, like to express himself under the basket. And Silla this time on that block, just telling him there's no way here. But it gets him on the dunk.
Part of that SWAT team. There's Brown with three. Beautiful three-pointer from downtown.
That's the second three-pointer for FUS Rabat in this third quarter. Very important in continuing to extend and stretch that lead. It's a 13-point game now.
Moreira picks it up. He's got a little bit of space, tries to tease, tries to get rid of Silla. Gets the ball back out. It's nicely done. Moraes finally hits his three, and he'll be happy about that because he's a machine when he gets it going. Diarra he draws the foul, and a little mistake there from Moreira, and that'll be his third foul.
It is very dangerous there. Yannick Moreira, he has to, you know, stay calm, especially when he comes up against a versatile player like Aliou Diarra. I'm just looking at the replay there with Nuhi. Fell off the ground and picked up the ball and just...
That was like a dance move.
Exactly.
He slid sumptuously down there and then picked up the ball, and look what he did. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, and Carlos Moraes there responding to Nuhi's three-pointer, being celebrated by Gerson Domingos on that bench.
And let's just talk about the slow-mo that we've got, you know, with all of these beautiful images, you know. It is just the best in the business. We're loving it. The images and the, you know, that we're seeing here is just, you know, we're stepped it up a level. Q, what do you think?
The three-point shot is pure poetry, especially when it comes from the legend Carlos Moraes. It looks even better in slow-mo.
Love it. Thanks, Q.
Carlos Moraes. Best three-point shooter in season 3.
Oh, look at this. They're stealing the ball. They're pinching it. But Dundao, he's got Cobra quick hands out wide. Moraes, he's going in again. It's another beautiful 3 from that man, Moraes.
Carlos Moraes standing up the heat at the very perfect time for Petro de Luanda. They know that for them to win this game, they need to cut down on that deficit. And to do that, 3-pointers is always a great way.
Moraes, the master of trigonometry, with the flamingo head at the end. Stunning, 42-51, clambering back slowly but surely, but still under a lot of pressure. And you can see that there's a little reaction there as Ayub Nouri just tries to show off a little bit of contact that he had on the back of the arm. And he has to go off because I think there's a little cut, so he'll get treated for that. Little change, and on comes Sofiane Ben-Mahin.
Yes, indeed. And Carlos Moraes has entered the double digits, 11 points.
He's just showing off.
For him, yes, showing off, as he should, for a man of his stature and talent.
It's as if he's wearing golden sneakers. There we go. It's a charge through into the paint.
He stepped on the line a little bit, Mohamed Sila, who was trying to, you know, go under the basket and look for options, but he's been caught red-handed. Yeah,
there are too many trees down there. That was quite complicated. Oh, the attempt there to try and, you know, bring it back up by Boyamba. It gets knocked out of bounds. And once again, defensively, they're putting so much pressure on Petro when they come up. But regrouping, communicating, and trying to find, you know, the way to just stop them from coming through. Petro and Luanda are, of course, back in possession, and Gaku will step up to the free throw line.
Well, it always looks like for Petro de Luanda, they have to earn every point that they make. But it looks easier for FUS Rabat. They're enjoying the run that they have so far in the game. And Gaku missing that fast free throw is not doing any good for the Angolan champions. They need to cut down on that lead. And there's pressure on Gaku. He knows he's one of the dependable players for Jose Neto.
Yeah, father coming from Guinea-Conakry. And but an Angolan international, of course. Angola, big basketball nation. Long-range shot going in from Brown. And just tipped out, and it will go out of play. Oyamba couldn't keep the ball, just flicking it, and Dundao trying to keep it in play, but it's going to be FUS, Fat Union Sports, Rabat, who will have possession. That's a replay from the other side, knocked out of bounds. Possession back again. 5:54 in the third quarter. We always talk about how third quarters can, you know, are very interesting just to get the lay of the land and understand sort of, you know, who's in charge. This is a quarter where we've seen before in previous BALs that Jose Neto has worked his magic and got his team back into the picture in the third quarter. Such an important time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that, you know, especially in season 3 when they came up against the ABC fighters of...
oh, look at that. Stunning. Dropped in to say hello, Sofiane Ben-Mahin. Ben-Mahin doing the business. Gaku, Dundao, Childe Dundao, and it gets forced out. Contacts there coming in from the player who just managed to score, Ben-Mahin.
And looking at how they're able to pull the defense in and then just kick that ball out to give him space for him to take the right shot. And Ben-Mahin, just one of the core players of this FUS Rabat team. He's doing a lot of work, especially on the defensive side, but that three-pointer will give him so much confidence going into the next possession.
There he is, Dundao, up to 4 points now. Just got 2 players in double figures. We talked about Moraes for that last three-pointer, but Diarra's up to 13 at the moment. There's a whole bunch of players in this FUS team who have picked up points. They win possession back. Good work from Gaku, just tidying up the loose ball. Dundao, look at him, he's ducking and diving. He's such a dangerous player. Shot clock going down to 3 seconds. Moraes goes up, and he takes it off the glass and in. And all of a sudden, Moraes goes up to 14 into the lead. Highest score for an individual player.
Well, Carlos Moraes, he knows that he's always one of the core players. He has to step up when they need him. And like you said, in the third quarter, this is where games are won, in the third quarter.
Those shots, they're difficult to come off the glass, of course, because you're getting it, you know, off the glass, angled in. And another foul. 47-54, 7-point lead. Petro Luanda slowly pulling in FUS de Rabat in this third quarter. Time for a little break. There's a timeout called. We'll be back, and we'll be seeing so much more drama. Yeah, welcome back to the Sunbet Arena here in this wonderful city of Pretoria. Petro Luanda currently 7 points behind FUS de Rabat. So much happening here. Let's go straight over to Q. He's found someone special.
Well, you see the action on the court, and I'm with supermodel Maria Borges, and she's courtside. Just talk to me a little bit about being here at the BAL-Africa League.
Amazing. First time watching live Petro, and we're strong as always. It's a pleasure to be here, and congratulations, BL. This has to be the time to make the basketball league even stronger than ever.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Q. It's time, isn't it, Asher? It really is.
Yes, absolutely. Maria Borges, you know, supermodel, very great ambassador of Angola, and really emotional for her to see Petro de Luanda play here
live.
in the BAL live.
Live.
You know, she's been cheering, you know, clapping, and, you know, giving them a lot of encouragement. And let's see if, you know, they will win.
Yep, absolutely. Great to see. And, you know, we've got a... We're going to go and check on an incident that actually just happened as we just came from that little interview. They're just looking to see if there's illegal contact there, I think, or is it? Yeah, it's done now. Oh, it's the shot clock. Look.
Just to see if actually, let's see, maybe if the ball touched the rim. Let's see.
Oh, it's
and landing space as well.
Yeah, landing space. Okay, so it's done now, just crashing into him, following through with his charge. We'll get the reaction right now. Q is busy, so we'll give him a couple of minutes and we'll find out what the official review is. These guys have been doing a fantastic job so far.
Yeah, absolutely. The great team there. Gatling, Mosea, and Gaga. And you get the feeling that Dundao was, you know, a bit late there on coming up against Gatling, and the decision has been made. Yeah, just looking at the body language there from Gerda Gerling from Washington, D.C., saying that his foot landed, his foot was right there as Bentmini landed from, you know, the shot that he took. So he will have shooting 3 on the free throw line.
And he's on spot at the moment. First foul there for Dundao, as you can see, but it's an unsportsmanlike foul, of course, so he needs to be very careful. The equivalent scenario for Mohamed Silla, of course, with that incident earlier with Gonçalves, who hasn't come back on since that happened. And maybe Q can get an update a little bit later on when he's got a bit of time, having spoken to an Angolan supermodel.
I still haven't recovered yet, but we will continue to bring basketball action as well and prioritize that, Robbie.
Thank you, Q.
Well, these are the packs of, you know, working at the BAL-Q, you know, supermodels, artists, movie stars.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, look at this. This is interesting. Diarra getting the ball out, and a chance there for a three-pointer. Just comes off the metal. Doesn't fall from Azuga, who's looking to try and add on to the 3 points that he scored already. As oh, it's a wonderful block. Diarra again showing off his defensive ability. Bouiambe gets the ball back, and Dundao out wide to Moraes. Moraes goes for three. Surely not. He can't do it again, but he will. Maybe the wrong side. He needs to switch sides, and there is another foul. And I think it's Jordan who will pick this one up on Dundiao. Let me just get a look at that. Oh, it's not from Diarra, I don't think.
No, it's not from that. But great defense there, obviously, from Aliou Diarra. And just looking at the replay, Jordan with his hand on
Bouyamba. Anyway, it looks like it is foul there for Diarra. Foul number 2 for him. It's a 10-point advantage still. And Q, over to you.
Maybe just a little bit of concern as Diarra looking to check out, and he is pointing at his calf, so I think he's going to get a little bit of attention, but you know that he'll play through the pain, but he's going to have that looked at by the team physio.
Yeah, and we just saw an image of Gonçalves' eye. It is very, very swollen, and he's got a plaster over it, you know, just over his eyelid, because he got nicked there with the elbow, of course. So we just hope that he gets a speedy recovery, but he'll be protected at the moment because you can't get into contact with something like that, and obviously, you know, if it's swollen, you can't see out of it, so your peripheral vision is not going to be at its best.
Yeah, and they have a couple of options on the bench of guys who can come on and, you know, make a difference in this game for Petro de Luanda, so no need to risk that.
Well, there's Diarra getting some treatment there on his calf, as you said. You know, it's the right calf muscle. He's the player that you really need in your side, especially when you're in a good situation going into the rear end of the third period. It comes out wide. There's a chance for Jordan. Jordan drops in for 3.
That's a big 3 there from Jordan, very timely, and just really to give FUS Rabat a 12-point lead in this game. Every time that Petro de Luanda tried to get closer, FUS Rabat kept, you know, extending that lead.
Oh, that's a great shot from Tunisia, and puts himself on the scoreboards there with a big, big score.
Well, as a point guard, it's very important for him to lead the way. If he has space, can take that shot, and with good shot selection, it's in.
He's so quick, isn't he, Asher? He just gets himself that space within the space of a split second. Big charge going through, and a foul committed by Moreira, and the teammates go and haul Naja back up off the court.
There's a bit of lack of communication there between Yannick Moreira and Gaku. If you look at how they tried to block Naja, but he'll go to the free throw line, and of course, you know, Moreira contesting that, but that is his 4th foul, 4th personal foul for Yannick Moreira. No panic. Oh, there is panic from Jose Neto as he brings back John Pedro to give Moreira a bit of rest.
Gonçalves checking in as well.
Yeah.
He's got that eye patched up, and he looks like he's good to go.
Okay, I just worried about his vision, you know, because when you're in that zone, Q, you know what it's like, because you're one of those trees that just likes to get physical, you know, defensively. But when you're in that zone, you know, and you're trying to sort of, you know, wrestle your way out, you've got to be super careful. So, I mean, you know, well, anyway, he knows what he's doing. Coach knows what he's doing. What do you think?
Soldier's mentality, old school. You got to be on the floor to make a difference.
Here he is, Gonçalves around the outside, gets rid of Jordan, gets it to Johnny Pedro, tries to hit the backboard, doesn't find its way up, and Jordan picks it up again. And here they go. It's FUS. Jordan getting rid of his man. He's so difficult to deal with. Over in the right-hand side, it's another long shot that doesn't fall. Picked up once again. Then Maheen. Jordan, little spin, running into a bit of trouble. Gets it back out. Then Maheen at this time. He's got a little bit of help with a block there, and that might be a foul by Tunisia. He didn't allow him to find that alley around the back.
It is a
Johnny
foul
Pedro,
on
I think,
Johnny
yeah.
Pedro, who actually came on for Yannick Moreira for 4 fouls, and himself just really picking up his 3rd foul. It's going to be trouble there for the big man in that paint for Petro de Luanda. We're still in the 3rd quarter with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play. FUS Rabat have been quite impressive actually on that free throw line, even though Ben Mini has missed his fast shot there. It's played a key role in helping them, you know, expand that lead against Petro.
Q, you're probably not far away from Diarra and sort of, you know, him receiving the treatment. What's the state of play there? Because he's such an important player.
I'll investigate it a little bit further, but he visually looks like he's going to rest and make his way back on the floor.
Okay, that's good to know. It didn't look like it was a pull. It was just like maybe a tight muscle that needs to be sort of, you know, dealt with rather than anything more serious. As we see Petro picking the ball up and they're being clamped. This is a really tight marking. Gonsalves tries to find Petro. It rolls out of play as we see you know, the bench there reacting in a very positive way because they know that this is a tight tussle and they're in a good position, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Lukeni, and the idea was good for him to get that ball in there. Too many bodies, too many FUS Rabat bodies there as Petro look for a scoring option here with Domingos on the court.
Yeah, he's great as well. Domingos using the board and having it fall down and in, and it's down to 8 points now. Great to see him back in the team, the 27-year-old, and on the floor. Nui here waits for Nadja to give him a bit of support. Finds Azuga as well. Tries to drop it into the path. There's a little bump there by Moraes as he hunted down Ben Maheen, and it's another foul.
It is his third personal foul, Carlos Moraes, but on the replay there with Gerson Domingos, you know, coming off the bench to bring some firepower on the offensive side for Petro, his first 2 points of the game, and just really giving the team another dimension there, especially as Dundao gets some rest.
Well, Petro are going to have to pay attention to the foul situation, especially going into the fourth quarter, because Petro alongside Moraes on 3 fouls apiece and Moreira on the bench already with 4.
So that means they've got to play with 5 point guards if they kill. That would be fast. That would be a fast game, wouldn't it?
Maybe they could sign Q. He could, you know, help in that paint.
I've retired. Thank you.
You can come out of retirement. So many have come out of retirement, including the great Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but only if he wears those golden sneakers.
Golden boy, golden man.
The Eldorados of sneakers. Looking good, Q. Gonsalves down the left side, trying to find a little bit of space. Goes right, down, under, and around. Oh, there's another bit of contact here, and he's in trouble, Ben Maheen.
Second foul charged.
And he's trying to defend himself with an explanation, but there was a little bit of tussle and with his defensive play. Second personal foul for him.
He's trying to explain to Arnold Mosea, the South African referee, who's, you know, very special moment for him today, officiating here in front of his home crowd and here in Pretoria, in Tshwane, as Carlos Moraes
gets 1 of 2, eh?
1 of 2. It's a 9-point game.
9 points. But when you see this happen, you sometimes get the impression that this is the moment that they've got to close them down. Azuga goes down as he tries to weave and slalom between the Petro defense. Quite complicated. He's very mobile, though. Look at that. Johnny Pedro is the player who just gets in his way.
Looking at Cummings and his hand there from the back is really a foul on Azuga.
Yeah, Cummings picks up his first.
And just looking at Cummings and why Petro de Luanda brought him on board, you know, his size, but also his ability to score. He's had a bit of a rough start to the BAL, 5 points so far in 3 quarters, but I think he's a player that will get used to the court. But Azuga on that free throw line will be hoping that he does not waste those chances and they don't come back to hurt them as a team, FUS Rabat.
Oh, it just does enough to fall from Azuga. Yeah, but they are replacing players like Damien Hollis, of course, and Atta Majok, of course, and Solo Diabate. These players who are just so important, but some of the bigs. So when you have these new players coming in, they've got to fill the gaps and find their, their place within the team. And we know how important, how serious basketball is in Angola, but the way that they work their magic, Petro de Luanda with Jose Neto, they understand, what pieces they need to make the machine go in the right direction.
Yes, and that machine so far is coming up against a very tough side in FUS Rabat, who are looking good. They've, shaken the confidence of Petro de Luanda, asking the right questions. And if they maintain this sort of attitude, they could actually win their first ever BAL game at the first time of asking.
Yeah, that would be quite special, wouldn't it? The celebrations would be off the charts as we see another shot that doesn't fall. I think there was Petro. Point number 6 for him. 9 points once again. But this accordion effects that we have here between FUS de Rabat and Petro de Luanda has been continual, very much since the start. You score, I score again. And they're not allowing Petro to get back in. It must be super frustrating for them.
And that's exactly why they try to make it difficult for them.
Yeah, they just get the ball back because there was a tread on the paint, on the line, sorry. So, nothing coming about of that. El Hoa just knocked back there by Domingos. No foul. Gonsalves, last 22 seconds. Last chance to get 3 points. It doesn't fall there for Marquis Cummings. And there's a chance for FUS to try and get themselves points in the last 8 seconds. Here we go, the drive going through. That is delightful. How about that? And a perfect way to finish off. Ayoub Nui scores 2 points, carving through the forest to get 2 points and move 11 points ahead going into the 4th quarter. This is sensational here for Said El Bouzini's team, and I think that we're going to get a very entertaining 4th quarter here in Pretoria at the Sunbed Arena. That drive, that finish. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
It's now time.
Season 4 of the BAL-Africa League here in Pretoria, the Kalahari Conference. Asha Kumagisha is here. And what have we seen so far? This is just extraordinary, isn't it? Look at that. That's the dunk of the game coming from that man, Diarra. Pass from Jordan. Sumptuous, splendid, magnificent.
There are no prizes for anyone who's guessing the dunk of the game here. Aliou Diarra in fine fashion, just being able to connect with Jordan's pass and serving us with this amazing dunk. And of course, celebration there from so many of his fans there in the stands. And just been a great atmosphere here in Pretoria.
It's not finished yet, is it? We've got a lot of basketball ahead of us. Petro de Luanda trail by 11 here by FUS de Rabat in their first ever BAL. Lovely round the back. That's nicely done. Oh, sensational. Ayoub Nui is producing some magical basketball here in Pretoria. He weaved his magic wand.
Every time that he's scored, it's been timely for FUS Rabat to continue.
Put it in! Johnny Pedro dunking big time. Petro de Luanda.
He just saw those Aliou Diarra dunks and said, no, I got one. I'm in there.
I can make music just like you, brother.
Game on.
Game on indeed.
Here we go. Ahly tries to get rid of his man, goes out wide. There's another long-range shot. It's just rattled. All the follow-up, it's going to go out of play. They get possession back. This is turning into quite an exciting, riveting encounter here. 57-68 blocks 4-1. They get the ball back. It's hot property, hot hands activity here, Usher.
Yes, hot hands there for FUS Rabat on both sides of the court as they introduce themselves to the world.
Oh! Badreddine Azuga! 3 up to double figures now with 10 points.
He is the 4th player for FUS Rabat to enter double digits. Jordan with 11.
This is just what's going on. This is coast-to-coast activity. Everybody wants a piece of the pie.
End-to-end action, and it's very important for Petro de Luanda to answer to what FUS Rabat have to offer tonight. If they want to win this game, they have to stay within touching distance.
Nadja, Nui, Azuga. Back out to El Hawa. These are the bench boys. The bench boys are working their magic straight through the middle. Oh, it doesn't go. But at the other end, Gonçalves injured, but definitely present. This is ridiculously good. We're loving it. Q, this is mad. I couldn't even get to. Go quick.
It's just too much. It's end-to-end stuff. What an opening game we have here in the BAL.
We'll take a break. Q will be back. Usher will be back. This is just wonderful. Look at that for a block. Get out of there. Stay out. Johnny Petro in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to stick around for our second.
Swatting it away. Stay out of my place. Extraordinary. We'll take a break now, I think. We will come back, I promise you. So let's take a look at the summary, Usher.
Well, looking at FUS Rabat, they've been very effective there from the three-point line. Those 8 3-pointers, you can say in more ways than one, have helped them to keep that lead, that double-digit lead over Petro de Luanda, who've been struggling to pass that ball around and really play as a team.
And Diarra's come back on, which is great news for FUS Rabat, which means that he's recovered, so he's in a good place and coming on with just less than 8 minutes to go. We saw a foul, and it goes against that man.
First foul.
And Q needs to talk. I knew that we had to go somewhere. Q is going to tell us something interesting.
Well, I have to tell you something interesting. And Petro de Luanda have only led for 1 minute and 6 seconds in this game. And we talked about the execution that we saw from FUS. Starting out in the first quarter, they have taken control and have been in control. And hopefully they will try and close out the game in style.
Domingos for 3. Domingos doesn't have it full. Jordan picking it up. Yeah, this is interesting. On the floor, Brown, Uy, Diarra, Ben Maheen, Azuga. 61-71. Petro de Luanda don't like to play second fiddle. Azuga goes around, tries to find his way, and actually, it's an offensive foul there for...
It is a travel call. Sorry. It is a travel call.
Great work.
He lost his footing there, Azuga. But great defense there from Cummings, as Petro de Luanda will take that possession.
Yeah, and Azuga goes off. 1 foul for him, not in trouble at all. Nelson trying to pick out and find the pass for Cummings.
And Azuga replaced there by Zwita, a veteran of Moroccan basketball. He went and drafted in the 2008 NBA draft. Is a 2023 league MVP as FUS Rabat won the title that helped them to qualify for the rod for the BAL.
Gonçalves just making contact with Jordan. It's an offensive foul on that occasion. Jordan seems to be okay. I think he just got, you know, hit on the head. It was definitely an accident. Just look at this going around. The flailing right arm, just making contact. Well, we always knew it was going to be physical. It's always going to be physical when you take on Petro de Luanda. It's just the way that they play.
Yes, both sets of teams are aggressive on defense and on offense, of course.
Beautifully done by Brown. Look at that. That's Jordan. He hits back in fine fashion, and they get a 12-point lead.
Impressive there from Jordan.
Gonçalves, that's beautifully done, and Cummings can't drop it in, and they go again. Jordan gets rid of his man sumptuously, tries to go up himself. Oh, it's a beautiful score draws the foul straight to the free throw line. A big moment in the game that was.
It is back-to-back baskets there from Jordan, and that's exactly what he brings to this FUS Rabat team, able to beat two Petro de Luanda players. And you can say that that was lazy defense there from the Angolans, but the act of being able to weave his way through to the basket and get those crucial 2 points that give them a 14-point lead.
This is pretty impressive. I just love the way that he has such good feet and the way that he just gets rid of his defender. He can slalom and just maneuver himself away, as we see this Jose Neda timeout called there with 14 points down. But just the way that he quickly gets rid of his defender, moves away into space, and that just opens up a whole number of possibilities, whether he goes alone or he tries to get the pass out wide or whatever. I think that sort of, you know, he most definitely has created a lot of the scores that they've actually got tonight. Wonderful play there from John Jordan.
And obviously the ability to come up as one against two and able to execute on that, you have to give it up to him. Jordan, he's not just been the player that, you know, can give the assist to Aliou Diarra, but he's also making plays for him and is, you know, getting those baskets in there. And 15 points. He's actually tied with Carlos Moraes as the highest scorers in the game so far.
Yeah, and he hit the buzzer, the three-pointer, the buzzer beater in the for the BAL qualification against Bangui that took the game into overtime, which they won. Just to give you an idea of what he's like. Look at the way that he's ghosted past Gonçalves. And I'm worried about that sort of, you know, it's his right eye, which obviously has been affected. So, you know, he couldn't, like, sort of, you know, catch him and make that right move. Maybe that played a role, I don't know.
Yeah, and you can see, you know, the face of a player who's put in a lot of hard work. He's been waiting for this moment to shine here at the BAL. And that's always also a thing about the teams that go through the road to the BAL, playing, you know, at 2 tournaments and coming through all of that heat to come and play here against the team that, you know, Petro de Luanda, that has automatic qualification. For the first game of the tournament, you expect this kind of matchup.
Yeah. Maybe another quick point, Dasher, is that the new format allows a home and away game. So, you know, if you're not on your best game in the opening game, you get a chance to come back.
Defensively strong once again. Diarra at the back. It's a good call, that is. Top 2 teams from the 3 conferences. It's been tough. Diarra finishes it off, and that is absolutely sensational. You know, lay it up there, and I'll do the rest.
Looking at the reaction there from the Aliou that we know, he could have easily dunked that, but after he laid up, it looks like he's limping on the court, but he'll stay on the court.
No, he's just outrageously good, isn't he, Jordan? 17-point lead, highest lead ever. Brown goes up for a 3-pointer, and that's going to be a foul, knocked out by Cummins, and he gets knocked down to the ground there, Sofiane Ben Mahine. He's been very, very active. Look at that. It could have been, he could have done it in any way. He could have done a somersault, flipped up, pirouette, and then dropped it behind his head as well if he wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks like he's really still hurting from, you know. Yeah, there you go.
That's the reason why he didn't go for the pirouette. He's still in pain, and it is just behind his right knee. He's going to go off once again. And you know what? 5:29. If they can keep him off and get him recovered for the next game, I think that's probably the best bet. But they have to obviously, you know, still keep that lead. So it's up to the rest of the boys to do the business.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's getting treatment, obviously, from the physiotherapist, Lamia El Kayari, who's been with FUS Rabat, working with the club for about 10 years, and just bringing that sort of experience here to the BAL as FUS Rabat look for their first ever BAL victory.
Oh, Gonçalves just have a little touch there to get the ball to Cummins. Cummins going right through the middle, gets it back out to Gonçalves. Let's see what he's like for the 3. 3 doesn't find its way in, and there is contact. No, it's all good. It's been set up. Silla trying to, well, just a full-back attempt at 2, but it doesn't, again, get the points up on the scoreboard. 61-78.
It is really a bad pass there from Gonçalves to Carlos Moraes. But as we look at Aliou Diarra getting some treatment in there, but with just under 5 minutes to go in this game, maybe it's best that he just really rests, as Gonçalves as well goes back to the bench for Petro.
Yeah, and Q touched on it, the formats. We've got 3 conferences, of course. Sahara, Nile, and here in the Kalahari. The 2 top teams will go through, and then the 2 best third-place teams will join them as the 8 teams in the quarterfinals that take place in Kigali.
And yes, indeed.
Brown for 3! Unbelievable long range downtown, way downtown.
Well, there's been a technical foul on Brown because of talking back at Cummings. They've had a bit of some friction there, and Arnaud Moussaer gives him a technical foul, Kendrick Brown.
Little reaction. You just got to stay away from that kind of stuff.
It's really unnecessary when you have a 20-point lead here in this game. And of course, you know, FUS Rabat for many would have come into this game as the underdogs, coming up against the first ever team to play in 4 straight BAL seasons, Petro de Luanda. But they've brought the shine onto themselves. FUS Rabat, they'll be making the headlines if they can see this through, unless some magic happens and Petro de Luanda overturn this 19-point deficit.
7 threes and you're back in business.
Still enough time on the clock.
Oh, so that sounds very easy, I see. So FUS Rabat are just gonna have 2 players, you know, playing defense. The rest are just chilling. So Petro can win. Wow.
Listen, it starts right here. And there is Ben Maheen with the foul committed on Carlos Moraes. And you can see that he's up to he's at 16 points, top scorer here in this opening game here of the 4th season of the BAL. He'll go straight to the free throw line. We're just keeping an eye on the players, of course. We've got Silla, who's come back on, you know, which he'll play an important role, but it's all about the defensive game that they play in the final 4 minutes and how they control this, coming in as debutants without the experience of playing in the BAL.
Well, when you talk about, yes, with no experience in the BAL, but most of the players on the FUS Rabat team have experience playing for Morocco. When you talk about players like Zwita, when you talk about players like Naja, they've played in this very tournament. And Naja, by the way, played against an Angolan side, Interclub, back in 2017, when it was still called the FIBA Africa Champions Cup, which is now the Basketball Africa League.
Moraes. Beckham Noah, of course, watching on. Loves the BAL, is part of the setup, is invested in this wonderful competition, and brings a lot of experience, savoir-faire, knowledge, and all of his NBA, you know, moments that he spent, of course, playing predominantly for the Chicago Bulls.
Yes, Joachim Noah, a constant face here at the Basketball Africa League, is watching the games and, you know, inspiring young talent that want to play in the BAL. Just great for these young players.
Ben Maheen unable to drop that shot in. It's been tidied up at the back. Cummings picks it up. Foul committed, as you can see there, from Abdel Hakim Zwita. He was part of that 2017 team that conquered Africa, of course, you know, in that original competition.
And he was the MVP.
Africa Champions Cup, sorry.
Africa Champions Cup MVP in 2017. And just using that experience here, but that's a foul on Cummings for sure, as Cummings goes to the line.
4 personal fouls for him. Q, we're going to come over to you. Did I see Kendrick Brown also down on the ground with a little bit of a muscular problem, or is it just a cramp?
It looked like it was just a little bit of cramp, and the physio team has been extremely busy here on this side of FUS Rabat, and he is back, and he's about to check in alongside Diarra.
Okay, very important element in this performance here. 15 points. They've clambered back a little bit, with 3:42 left on the clock. Jordan's back on court. The ball comes back out into the hands of the ever dangerous Zwita.
Well, you can see that FUS Rabat are trying to run the clock. They know they have time on their side. Yes, 3 minutes and a half to play, but if they can use and run down that clock on every possession, make sure they score and deny Petro, then they have this one in the bag. But there's so much basketball to still be played as Jordan heads to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's foul was committed by I think it was Anthony Nelson, Seton Hall University.
That's a swish. Easy, Jordan. He makes it look very easy. That's 17 points for him. A team high so far in this game. And that's what you need when you bring in a new player into a team like this that is playing for the first time at the BAL. Just being able to be the difference and add to what they have already as a team. They're big on the inside in the paint, but Jordan and Brown have been able to give them that extra edge against Petro de Luanda tonight.
Petro de Luanda, 3:15 left on the clock. Carlos Moraes gets it back out, and is Nelson trying to go for a mid-range two that doesn't finally fall. Picked up, tidied up, dealt with Ayoub Nouhi, calmly getting the ball back to Jordan. Jordan drives in very quickly. Oh, that was nearly beautifully set up for, you know, the dunk there for Diarra. Dundao goes driving through traffic.
There's a lot of
I love the acceleration. Yeah, there is a lot of traffic. Love the acceleration of Dundao. It's not surprising because we're familiar with him, but when you see him, he kind of slows up and then he just shoots off.
He uses his size, and that hesitation is what could get the opponents, you know, not focused on staying with him in terms of playing that defense, and he earns himself a trip to the free throw line.
Missing the shots from the free throw line. 16 points. Wonder what's going through the mind of Jose Neto. Can't be too happy. He's allowed a team to just get ahead and stay ahead. That's not really the way that Petro de Luanda like to play their game. So it must be super frustrating for him. For this man, when he sees little errors like this, he's going, that's not what I want to see. But what a masterful tactician he's been tonight, and doing such a fantastic job with Ahmed Salam, his assistant coach.
Yes, El Bouzidi, royalty, basketball royalty in Morocco. He brings that touch here to FUS Rabat. Of course, he's frustrated when things don't go well, but he must really be happy with that double digits lead that they have against a giant like Petro de Luanda. But on the other side, Jose Neto trying to bring some changes onto the flow. They've made it sometimes very easy for FUS Rabat to score, and they have to be able to stop that when it comes to especially transitional play. They're struggling, they're not able to slide on defense, and also to pick those defensive rebounds that FUS Rabat then use to go into transitional play and score.
Diarra coming back on and just battling through the pain. You know, it's interesting to see that you've got a player who's come off a couple of times, getting the treatment. You know, star player with the X factor. The Malian is a master, you know, out here today. And, you know, he's been sensational. But do you risk continuing to keep him on the court, or do you kind of take him off? It's one of those, like, sort of, you know, million-dollar questions, because you want to win your opener against the colossal giants of Angola, Petro de Luanda.
So it looks like it's more a decision of the player. You know, he's like, coach, I need to get back. Coach, I'm okay, I'm fine. As long as, you know, I think he has clearance, obviously, from the physiotherapist, Lamir, just saying, do not stretch it. You know, if you have the ball in the air, you don't have to dunk. You can just make an easy layup. But, of course, just for him to be in that paint is very key for FUS Rabat, especially when you have players like Moreira, very experienced in that paint.
Well, there's that man, Jordan, sensational out there today, along with a fair few. He's now the second highest scorer, Jordan, behind Carlos Moraes, and it is Gaku who gets the ball. Moreira, Dundao back to Moraes. Moraes with a shot that just doesn't have the distance.
There was good defense there, actually, from Nouhi.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to just, you know, look at what they're doing out there. They're doing a really brilliant job, aren't they? Just closing things down, taking players out.
Yes, as we see FUS Rabat try to take down this Zono man from Petro.
A spring shot there coming that doesn't finally hit its target from Nuhi on a rare occasion, and that's really well done by Gaku. Gaku gets it back, bides his time, tries to go up. There's a defensive bit of contact there from that man Diarra, and he will go to the free throw line. It's a chance for us to go to Q before we know that he's going to be a little bit busy in a minute. So Q, you know, we look at the 15-point scoreline. We know that things can turn around so quickly, but you know, there are risks involved, of course. You know, with how you play this game. What's Jose Neto thinking about? How is he going to work this now?
Well, I think the primary thing is to ensure that you stay close, and you know, it's small margins. That missed shot by Carlos Moraes we saw a little bit earlier, that goes in. It's a 12-point game. The pressure changes. So with the format that we're talking about, the onus is on the teams on the floor to stay close no matter what happens. You can't let the lead get too high, and you've got to continue to fight possession by possession until the end of the game.
Well, they're going to lose possession there. That was Dundao doing the business here, and just it's, you know, this is a little mistake. This is why Said El Bouzidi is actually off out of his seat for probably the first time tonight, is because now he knows, you know, that we are entering money time. We're entering that time where things are just won by small fractions, small little margins, like you said, Q.
And when the players see him standing up, they know that they cannot be complacent at all. And with that failed attempt there from Dundao, you just get the feeling that, you know, the shots are just not dropping. And that's not the first time it's happened tonight for the ball to sort of get in and out of the basket for Petro.
Drive through the middle. And again, you can see the danger that Abdel Hakim Zoita brings. Plenty of experience, the charge going through. And of course, a foul committed by Nelson.
Well, looking at that, there is going to be a inbound for FUS Rabat. They really know that now they have to just run down that clock, you know, pass the ball around. It's just 1 minute 45 seconds to go. It's a 14-point game. Of course, things can turn around, but they know they have the control at the moment.
Yeah, but I get the impression they don't want to do that. They want to go out and score. They're just like sort of in the mood for playing and like attacking. And there's the, well, there's a clock violation there, of course, as he just went up, Zoita, and ran out of time. And it's Petro pick up possession. Moraes out to Gaku. Gaku with a shot. And again, these shots are not falling. And, you know, it was mentioned before that if you don't get those shots and you don't take advantage of the phases of play when you're in possession, then you're going to miss out.
When you look at Petro de Luanda with Moraes having 19 points, only player to be in double digits, that's very poor from the rest of the scorers of the team.
Crikey. You know. And Diarra's down, and I'm wondering if it's right ankle now.
Like I said earlier,
it's cramp. It looks like it's cramp. It's cramp.
Like I said earlier, the instructions were really very clear from the physio. Do not stretch it. The excitement is there, of course, to dunk, but the minute he goes up into the air, he can just put the ball off the glass and just make an easy layup. But the minute he stretches, then it becomes very complicated going forward.
He just went down like a stiff board, didn't he? Because you can understand that, you know, his muscles are like sort of, you know, giving him so much hassle, and you can see that he's in quite a lot of pain.
And the excitement on the bench, they're already waiting for him to, you know, dunk that ball. But let's see.
He's in so much pain because the cramp, when your legs cramp up, you've been there before, you know, and I mean, you know, we're addressing a lot of people who know a lot about sport, a lot about basketball. But when you get a cramp, that pain, it can be absolutely unbearable. And he's gone through the wars tonight. So, you know, I hope that he gets the right massage at the end, and he gets like sort of, you know, the cryotherapy treatment or whatever, get the ice, whatever. He's getting a lot of credit here because this is a fantastic performance from a player who's really stole the show tonight. You know, he might not be the top scorer at the end of it. It doesn't matter. It's the content of his performance that's made him stand out a magician from Mali. Yes, you can call him that. Wonderful, wonderful performance. We hope that he has a very speedy recovery.
We wish him a quick recovery, Aliou Diarra, but really he now has to rest so that he doesn't continue to aggravate that injury.
There are claims that it came off the foot of Dundao. And it should be FUS who have possession. Yeah, I don't think it was spotted, but there was something else. Let's just hope that he's okay. Q, you're quite close. He's in a lot of pain, isn't he?
It actually, again, Robbie, is looking like cramp, and that's just what it appears like visually. So I don't think he'll come back into the game, but like you said, hopefully it's just is cramp, and he'll be ready to go, because 15 points, 10 rebounds, another double-double is just the way that he plays the game, and it's why FUS picked him up after his performance in BAL Season 3.
Unbelievable. What a great start from, as I said, the magician from Mali. 68-82 timeout called by Saïd El Bouzidi. He knows that they can't take their finger off the pulse of this final minute. You talk about seconds and how things, a stop-start game when points are being scored and, your 3 points go in can turn things around still. So it's not over until it's over.
It's not over until it's over, but when you look at the body language of the Petro de Luanda players, it sort of looked like they started to accept their fate in that third quarter when they would score and FUS Rabat will go back and score on the other end of the court, and now they managed to extend that lead. But just under 1 minute to go, and you can imagine what Jose Neto is telling his players, but every possession counts, every point counts, because they'll have to play these teams again the second time. And looking at that replay for Aliou Diarra, just fell down like a log, basically.
But I think that's the moment. So the ball's coming through. He's going too quickly. He has to stop his body from going through, and then sort of, double-double and 3 steals, of course, 15 points and 10 rebounds, but which is not uncommon for him. But your body, he's stopping his body, so he's tightening his body because he's trying to stiffen himself in the air and slam that ball in. At the same time, it cramps up, and that's when he goes down. Very, very complicated moment for him. He'll be fine. We want to also talk about tonight. Cape Town Tigers, the local boys, back in business for the 3rd straight season after reaching the quarterfinals in the last 2. They come up against Dynamo Basketball Club of Burundi, Bujumbura boys, in their first ever BAL. That's the second encounter, and that is 7 o'clock local time. Looking forward to that. It's going to be thrilling. It's going to be fine entertainment. So hopefully you'll just follow on and just get a double dose of some extraordinary basketball action here in the BAL for Season 4 in the Kalahari Conference.
Well, the fans are out in big numbers. The stadium is sold out, the Sunbet Arena. Children, parents, girls and boys, men and women, everybody is here, just able to enjoy the action in the Kalahari Conference.
54 seconds left on the clock. Q, over to you.
I can tell you, after review, they've now put 0.7 on the shot clock just during that delay. And that's why the referees were having a look and getting the time right. So 54 seconds, 0.7 left on the shot clock, and it will still be FUS Rabat basketball.
There you go. Q is everywhere. It's those golden shoes. They take you everywhere on a journey. Wonderful stuff. Extra magic for Q.
Extra magic.
Long shot going up from Jordan, but didn't get his shot in on time, as you mentioned, Q. And Brown's come back on. Nelson, Dundao, Carlos Moraes trying to take his man away. There's Nelson going up. That is beautiful. Just floating over the chop there and trying to break it down. Full press, it looks like, because you've got to really make sure that you're covering your man.
And just FUS Rabat continuing with that strategy, just running down that clock and making sure that they have the best scoring option, but Jordan misses.
And less into the last 20 seconds. Dundao gets the ball back out. Moraes trying to build on his 19 points, and it just comes off the metal. Picked up again by Dundao on the outside. That's a sumptuous drop shot from downtown. Beautifully done, just on the edge of the arc there. And taking all of those points and making it 73-82.
Every point counts here for both teams, because they will play each other again next week.
Yeah, you get another bite at the apple, don't you? Very busy. That's the end. How about that? This is a stunning opening encounter here for the man, Saïd El Bouzidi, the head coach of FUS Rabat, the Moroccan debutants. They pull off a very important win against giants of Angola, Petro de Luanda. Final score 73-82. That is just a brilliant way for them to start. Petro de Luanda will get another chance to try and beat them in the reverse fixture. Stunning stuff here in Pretoria. We're having an absolute blast.
It is obviously a big result for Moroccan basketball, for FUS Rabat. It's the first time they're playing in the BAL, and really the second team from Morocco to play here. And for them to just pick that victory is going to give them confidence. It's going to get them in a position where they know that they have a shot at making it to the playoffs in Kigali. But there's so much work to be done. They can use that to their advantage, and they have to make sure that Aliou Diarra is feeling much better going into the game tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's going to be very important, you know, and it's a quick recovery time, and that's going to be super important, because all you want to have your best players able to perform, able to, you know, be there for the key matches. And, you know, there he is, Aliou Diarra. He's got a smile on his face. He's back, hobbling around, you know, dealing with all of the cramp and all of the injuries, but absolutely exquisite. It's been fantastic stuff that we've actually seen here tonight from FUS Rabat. Now it's time to see Petro Luanda try and recover after this. But that man there, I mean, you've got to give him full credit. He has masterminded something special. Saïd El Bouzidi is the man who has just orchestrated, you know, what has been, you know, one of the biggest upsets so far in this competition.
Yes, and you talk about upsets. Let's look at 42 rebounds. FUS Rabat, you know, just getting in there in the paint, working so hard on both sides of the court. 16 assists, just showing you how they were able to, you know, run that ball around. And looking at their shot selection behind the arc, 9 of 22, but also from the field, 44%, just edging, you know, Petro de Luanda and beating them at their own game. It's a high moment for FUS Rabat. They'll celebrate this one tonight, of course, and take in everything.
There we go, team comparison there. And Carlos Moraes, 19 points, of course, leading the way. Dundao second with 10, 2 players in doubles. A lot of players who should have scored maybe more points and didn't manage to hit them. With John Jordan leading the score with 17 points, ahead of Aliou Diarra with 15, Soufiane Ben Mahine with 12. And we will get a reaction from John Jordan, the top scorer for FUS Rabat here tonight.
John Jordan, thank you very much for your time. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, but most importantly, the win. Just your thoughts on your team's performance in this opening game.
Very, very proud of our team coming in and executing the coach's game plans, a tough physical game. I'm just glad we got the BAL-Africa started off in the right way. Tough game, just glad we got the win.
You guys came in with the underdog tag, but you really did set the tempo from the beginning. You know, what is it about the way that you play the game? Is it the game plan, or is it just the way that you execute it? What is it about?
It's a combination of everything. You know, I played a lot of games in my career, so I just try to use my experience to navigate what's going on, to kind of slow down the time, make the right reads, and, you know, just execute the game plan.
When you think about the performance today, what aspects will you take from this into the game day tomorrow?
I mean, just to continue to be focused, continue to push myself. I missed a couple reads tonight, so I'll take a little bit of time to go home and watch the film and see where I can get better at.
Well, congratulations. Great performance today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. FUS Nation, let's go. Jumping like Jordan coming soon. Let's go.